Hey,
Hey, everybody.
what's going on? That's a cool shirt, by the way. I was noticing that. What
Thanks.
was that?
Yeah, Holy Mountain. It actually
Oh yeah,
has. I can't really turn around because my headphones, but it's got
yeah.
like the original
uh,
Gundam series artwork on the back, and yeah, it's
all
from
right.
Joel there at Holy Mountain Printing. It's got. I think this is the only thing on the front, but the back has
Hmm.
like the Gundam logo, the original poster. Like, if I guess if there was a poster, I don't
Huh.
know if there was or not.
Hmm. I don't know if I've seen that one before. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that looks
yeah.
nice. And goop stuff. I was actually thinking about that this morning, thinking about wearing that T-shirt. Not that one. Joel's one, my True Gunpla shirt.
Nice.
Almost put it on. I thought, oh, maybe tomorrow. Anyway, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode here. Music Gundam TV channel. Oh yeah, I need to pull up all the new stuff. We need to talk a little bit about all the
Oh
new
yeah.
stuff that's announced. Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Yes. Yes. I feel like I've talked about it a lot already, but
We
between
did.
my live stream and then doing the news video, and then I talked about it with a little bit with Josh earlier today as well too. But
Nice.
I wanted to just go through some of that stuff with you as well too. I want to know what you're looking forward to.
Yes, a lot.
Also, yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. And as we were saying before we got started, but then just to share this with everyone else as well too, whilst we don't really know when a lot of this stuff is actually coming out for sure, people don't really seem to be bothered about the wait for that.
Yeah,
People
no.
are just excited for a lot of this stuff. And
Yeah.
I was just telling Adam that I thought that was kind of interesting. You don't really ever hear people complaining about having to wait until whenever to get these kits. So
Yeah, most of the time they're pretty excited. They're just getting made.
very cool. Yeah, you only have people complaining is when they show the announcement and then the kit never actually comes out, which is pretty rare, but
Yeah.
it happened a couple of times. I don't
Gotcha.
expect that to happen with any of these, though. It doesn't seem like.
No, I think anything that has colored images like that they took the time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right. Uh, if it was just the prototype and like that's all, like we saw like with the master grade age kits a few years back, like that,
Yeah.
then maybe not. But yeah, these all seem pretty finalized. And I guess while they may have issues with the production there at Bandai, I'm sure the development teams, especially just like planning the kits and stuff, they can work at home, whatever. So
Yeah.
they should have had still plenty of time to work on the development of the kits. It's just production is the problem, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Production's the hard hitting thing right now over there, I'm sure.
So what are you most looking forward to?
So two kits I'm actually extremely excited for. The Calamity, believe it or not, I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
I actually have the resin kit that turned, I think it was the old Master Grade Freedom,
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly, into the Sword Calamity. And so now they're making this, which I think is cool. Which is it I feel like it's still an RE, even though it doesn't say RE.
Yeah,
They
totally.
made it just 1/100, which is, I don't know
Mhm.
why they took the RE off of that.
It seems like that. I mean, I don't really know why, but it seems like RE100 line is only for Universal Century stuff.
Okay.
So this seems like, yeah, it's probably by the same developmental team that works on RE stuff usually, but they would wanted to do something from Seed, and like, well, we need to keep the RE line just all UC stuff, I guess. So we'll just put this in the 100 scale Seed line.
I could see that.
I guess I don't really know why, but
Nah. But I mean, the rendered images look pretty good. I mean, pretty excited for
definitely.
this. Yeah. The
Yeah.
other kit that I'm excited for is the Real Great High New. I mean, I love the High New. There's just so many new kits. There's so many good ones that they put out there. But probably for everything that's regular release, I'm pretty excited for. And if it looks like this, obviously these are CGI rendered images, but I mean, you can look at the different color separations, the different, just even where like the inner armor's poking out through different slots and stuff. It just looks nice. So
Yeah, the proportions are really nice. We were taking a look at like the comparisons between the original and the master grade Verka kits earlier, and just like how this is different compared to those other kits as well too.
Yeah,
and it's definitely a lot more closer to the Verka, of course, with its big bulk. But yeah, really interesting changes to the design too. There's quite a lot of silver around on it. It looks like.
Yeah, little fins on the backpack there, like the top of those.
Yeah.
Those, I don't think those haven't been on anything, right? Those have been added, but they look like they're supposed to be antennas.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I just noticing that now, looking at it, that it's supposed to be antenna, but like they just molded it like that so that people wouldn't be breaking them off.
Yeah.
Also, just now noticing, like, really for the first time, how big the V fin is on the head. It's quite big on there.
Interesting story. Our first our old logo, this was the actual V fin that was on that logo, was the High News.
Oh, the High News.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Definitely. Like the orange gold bits too. The original Master Grade had that, but like just only on the backpack.
Yeah.
So it has like a lot more of that. And the same thing with the silver, like I mentioned too.
Yeah.
The old Master Grade had some, but this has even more so than that. So a lot more metallic stuff on this kit than previous versions.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they keep it that way.
Or if they end up changing some of that, you think?
Yeah, or if the rendering on the silver parts we see there, maybe the rendering of it in the light that maybe it just makes it look like it's metallic and it's just like a darker or lighter gray. I'm actually curious to see.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, but the more I look at it, the more I think, no, it looks silver. But it could be right. It could not be, but we'll see. But considering that the design has had silver parts on it in the past, I feel like then it probably is.
Yeah,
silver. It probably is how it looks. Because you can see that like here up underneath the skirt.
Yeah, that's
back as well too.
Yeah,
and so it's only when it's right next to the white that sometimes it's kind of hard to tell. But like it looks like it pretty much is. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much is actually color separated between like these parts on the shield and the fin funnels.
I'm sure there's going to be some stickers there on the shield. Hopefully not. I mean, they might not. I mean, those could be different. They've done that before where they were different parts.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Like looking at it, it could very well easily be separate parts, but if they end up actually doing that or not, that's the question, right?
Yeah. So that's cool having that come out. Very excited about the Mark V. I built the old, I think it was G-Works resin kit of this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have that built. So very excited. I know when Bandai told me about this a while ago, I was pumped about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And I'm just looking forward to seeing some more shots of that, like in action poses and stuff, just to see some more of the gimmicks. So I'm sure it's going to look even better, like all posed up. But it looks great like that too.
Yeah, it makes me wonder too. So Bandai has decided to make this a P Bandai release, and there's so many. I mean, there's obviously multiple other kits they can make pretty much off this frame. I wonder if those will be P Bandai, if they won't do those, or if they'll just decide to make them regular release. Usually they would make this regular release and then do the other versions, other stuff P Bandai. So I wonder why they.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We were talking about this earlier today, and I was just saying that, like basically, to make any other kits like the Dovin Wolf or the Silver Bullet out of this, they would maybe be able to use like a couple of pieces of the armor, hardly anything really, of the outer armor. Of the frame, maybe between 50 and 70% of the frame would maybe be able to be reused. But I mean, there's not a lot here that they would be able to reuse to make the Dovin Wolf or the Silver Bullet. It's a start, it's part of it. Yeah. There's still a whole lot of kit that would have to be completely newly developed for making either of those variants, but it would be very cool. Between the two, if they were going to make anything standard release, I would think probably the Dovin Wolf, considering that it appeared in Double Zeta and Unicorn.
Yeah.
Just it has a little bit more screen time than the Silver Bullet, which was only on screen in Unicorn. So
Yeah. And wasn't the was it the Silverbolt Suppressor? Was that was NT, right?
Oh yeah,
Narrative. Yeah, that
yeah,
was
yeah.
narrative.
That's true. Yeah.
But that's a different silver.
Mm.
I mean, that was a different mobile suit.
Yeah,
I'm considering
different
that.
variants.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different, even of the regular Silver Bullet too. There's, I think, like in Unicorn MSV, there's at least 2 other different variants as well too. There's the fin funnel test type, and then there's the Gael Chan's version, which is slightly different as well too. So yeah, there's a lot of different variants that they could make if they were to make that. Whereas the Dovin Wolf basically just has the Double Zeta version and the Unicorn version, and that's it, just those 2. So Silver Bullet would have more variant possibilities. I don't know.
Yeah.
Have to see.
I know one of these photos too of this, you can see there's like a brace or like a stand extension that holds the arm part. I don't know if you'd seen that before. It's not this one, or maybe it was one of the pictures. Actually, no, they didn't have it at the show, did they?
I don't know if I've seen that picture.
Yeah, there's a picture of this, and it's got the there's literally a brace for the stand from the stand that holds the left arm. And I'm wondering if it's just that shield is too heavy. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me, because that's strange. Because I know, like, for the Silver Bullet, it has like the arms that shoot off like on the wires, like the Saikomu arms. But the Mark V doesn't have that, so it wouldn't be for something like that, I guess. And like that shield can't be that heavy.
I gotta find it. I'll find it. I'll look for it later.
But you can see here that the shield can plug into the back.
Oh, yeah. Do you have? I guess, am I able to share my screen?
I should be able to. I think there should be a share screen there. You can choose whether you want to share the whole screen or a specific window.
Yeah.
I would recommend.
All right, there we go. I've got just like 3 screens. All right, is it sharing mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. See all my millions of tabs I have open there. Right here. There you go. Do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if that's just to hold it in place or if that's.
Yeah, I would imagine that's just because it's just like a painted prototype, so it's probably a little bit unstable.
Okay, makes sense.
And a pretty big kit too, so I'd say that's the reason why.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. It should be, fine once the actual kit comes out. I'm sure it'll be good. But yeah, quite large. I'm looking forward to that. And I just was surprised at how much stuff that was announced that if I just heard it, I wouldn't have been all that excited about it. But then like seeing it, I do feel excited about it. And like the Calamity is one of those for sure. I'm also quite excited about that. I don't really know why.
Right? Like
I wouldn't have expected that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be cool. The Wing RG as well too.
Yep. So we'll have all 3 will be real grades now.
Looking forward to that a little bit. The Nightingale.
Yep.
And that's gonna be cool. And the surprise one that I'm quite looking forward to as well too, actually, is down here, the Gundam Base exclusive Perfect Gundam Sans Perfect Gundam armor in anime colors. It just looks like a nice, pretty simple master grade version of the RX-782, and the colors look really nice, of course, too. But
was this the mold? This one was the one that was done between the 1.5 or the 2.0 or 2.5 and 3.0?
Between the 1.5 and the 2.0.
Okay. And this is just the different color scheme.
Yeah. So I guess it looks like, because it's the Perfect Gundam without all the extra weapons and armor and all that stuff on the outside of it, that it doesn't have any other weapons included as well either, because those are all just kind of built into the armor. Yeah. So it seems like this kit is only coming with just the beam saber, which is pretty fun. Interesting. But no, I'm actually quite looking forward to that if I can get my hands on one. It's a Gundam Base exclusive thing, so they should have it here. The Gundam Base is in Korea, I would imagine, as well too.
Nice.
So it should be good. But no, actually kind of looking forward to that. The Pale Rider, of course, looks very cool as well too.
Yeah. I love the Pale Rider.
Yeah. What I found interesting too about this new version of the MGEX is that they don't actually show the backside of it in any of these promo photos, and that's like the only part that's actually different about the kit.
Yeah, because it's supposed to match the 1-to-1 scale, right there.
Yeah. And the only like physical difference is the backpack thrusters, and they don't actually show that in any of these pictures. The markings are different, though. You can see only slightly, though. Basically, it just seems like just the shoulder markings. That's all. It's really different. But other than that, yeah, I mean, quite a shame. If people aren't really familiar with that small difference in the backpack at the 1-to-1 Gundam, then I feel like a lot of people are just going to be like, I don't really know what that is or why it's different, so pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot to look forward to. The new IBO kit looks cool.
Yep. Like tons of stuff looks good.
That's Scythe, I'm sure.
Yeah, a lot of master grades too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Definitely. Usually it's like you maybe see one master grade announcement, but like the Dom obviously not that new. It's half old, but it's cool that they're making that. It's 1.5 basically. The mobile Jin, very out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But still looking forward to that. And the Virtue, of course, was very expected. But yeah. And yeah, we'll include the Nadle in there for any of you guys wondering if you haven't heard.
Yep.
There's been a lot of what's that? People wondering online if the Nadle will be included or if that'll be a P Bandai thing as like a separate kit or something, but it will be included in the kit. So you'll just have to toss all that Virtue armor back into the box for storage or something, because yeah, that'll be cool though. They've only got this little teaser image that they put out so far. You can only see it from the back, but I'm interested to see how all the hair is going to look on it. You know, I assume it'll be probably maybe like in separate sections, kind of similar to, it's like that on the HG too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where there's like just a few like chunks of it in separate pieces.
Right. Yeah. It's not
anything like a malleable wire or anything like that.
No.
But we'll see. Obviously, it's going to look a lot better than the HG, no doubt. But that'd be cool. Hopefully they do. Honestly, I do kind of hope that they do release it also as a P Bandai kit where it's just the Nadle. Because, I would feel just kind of a shame having a kit and then just not using all the Virtue parts and just having it as the Nadle. But I do really like the Nadle as well, too. So I would like to have that as just on its own.
Yeah, I'm glad they did it, but it reminds me of that 1/100 Gujin where you could only build one of the forms and you had...
Yeah, exactly. But at least with this one, if you're building it as the Virtue, at least everything's in there. You don't have a bunch of leftover parts.
Yeah.
Like with the Gushan, no matter which one you made, you've got a bunch of leftover parts to do nothing with. So it really felt like a waste. At least this one, if you're building as a full Virtue, you won't feel like it's wasted money or anything necessarily.
Yeah.
Just only if you wanted to display the Virtue. I guess you would have the Virtues, or not, sorry, you would have the Nadle's weapons. Hopefully it would be coming with the Nadle's beam rifle and shield, because they're different.
Yeah.
So hopefully those will also be included. Those would be left over, I guess, but
everything else you'd be using.
Yeah. And you could always use those with like a different kit or something to make some custom other version of the Curios or something like that with the different shield and rifle or something. Because I do really like the weapon and shield designs for the Nadle as well too. Very cool designs, but wouldn't be able to use them with this guy. Yeah. So all that stuff will be coming out spring to summer of next year. Yes. Do you know if you'll be getting this set as well too?
Yeah, that's up for pre-order right now.
Okay.
So we'll be getting that, and I'm sure that box is going to be huge.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that has a price on here that is a regular release is up for pre-order right now on the site. Yep,
there you go. Which is not a lot. So only a couple things.
I think there's 5 things or 6 things.
Yeah. Not a lot, but and that I can assume is going to be like a first run limited kind of release. That set probably, yeah.
Yeah, they've been doing that with popular kits. Was it the Real Grade New had the funnel effect set?
The Ava kits, the
Ava
Zeong.
Kit. Yep. Zeong has its blast shooting set. So yeah, they're like special in the figure world. I guess you call them DX sets that have extra parts and they're one time.
Yeah.
Run,
so like I mentioned before in the news video and in my live video, guys, if you want that set, get it straight away because it'll only be more expensive to get it later.
Definitely.
There you go. All right. So a lot to look forward to. As for what you got new in stock there recently to show us, you have anything new to show us today?
I don't have anything new, but all the new stuff that is supposed to be coming is on its way and should be here next week. So you got the high grade heavy arms, the bound dock, what else? The Fumina, there's a bunch of stuff coming. The last shipment of the Master Grade EX Unicorn will be here next week. So if you haven't gotten your pre-order and you were part of the first batch, that will ship out. Should ship out next week when we get that in. The Master Grade Wing Verka should be here the end of the month. I know a lot of people have been asking for that, which Bandai's done a pretty cool job about trying to make sure that we get it basically right around the same time that it releases in Japan. I think that's the 26th for Japan, so we should have it sometime right around then.
Nice.
Yep.
So people who normally are used to having to wait a little bit when those new releases come out will be able to get it pretty shortly after.
We should. All the pre-orders too. The Bandai promised that we would have enough on our first batch of them. They wouldn't split that order, is what they told me. So if you pre-ordered it, you will definitely have it before Christmas and definitely be shipping out as soon as we get them in, which is cool.
Very nice. Yeah, looking forward to that. The box art was recently shown off finally for that as well too, which looks pretty cool. I honestly thought it was a little bit underwhelming compared to other normal Verka box art. And I think when I was thinking about it, I was thinking that just like the aspect ratio, the orientation of the artwork on the box just looks a bit odd because usually when you see that size of box, they have it vertically oriented.
I think the box is a different shape and size than their standard Master Grade boxes. Yeah, I think it's more of square versus rectangle. So like we had to order special boxes for them.
Here you go. This just to remind everyone. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I was assuming it's just like the normal like size Master Grade box, like basically. But yeah, usually like with the Faz, I think too, as well as like the Full Armor Gundam.
Yeah, those longer.
The Double Zeta were all in that same usual size Master Grade box, but just vertical style, right?
Yeah. So this, I believe, is going to be the same but length and height as the Penelope box, which is more squared off.
Oh, really?
I think it's going to be a thicker box though than the Penelope.
Oh,
if I remember correctly, the dimensions that they sent me.
Oh my. Yeah, it seems like usually they have like the artwork more to one side on this style box art. When it's a horizontal and it's like like you said, it's pretty square. It's barely horizontal, but usually they have it a little bit more off to the side, and because it's like almost in the center, it looks like kind of weird. It's like, is it in the center or not?
Yeah.
So, on the vertical boxes in the center, on the long boxes it's off to the side, but this one's kind of weird. Like I think they could have moved it over a little bit. We didn't really need to see all of the wing over here.
Yeah.
It's really on the front of the box, but I don't know. Anyway, just the cropping of it's kind of strange. But looking forward to the kit either way.
No.
It'll be cool. So not long away now. Should be here. Yeah, it should be here on the same day, but in Korea in general, I mean, here in this room shortly after. 2 weeks from now, I would imagine. Around there. So I'm looking forward to that. let's get to some questions here today. I'll pull up these. And for those of you guys watching live, if you're not familiar with how we usually go about doing these, I've got questions to pull from the posts on the community tab, as well as the Facebook page and the YouTube page. We'll take those questions first, and then we'll take some questions from you guys watching live here at the moment with us. Let me just go over to the community tab here on YouTube first. And just a couple of questions here. So we'll take these straight away. Atherin said, I stick with HGs due to the affordability, comparatively speaking. What would you consider some of the best HGs you currently have in stock or will be getting in time for the holidays? Zach, love the content. Keep it coming. Adam, thanks for all you do for the community.
Yeah. Pretty much any of the brand new ones, I think, are top quality kits for the most part. They have been anyways. I mean, I'm biased to Sanju Stein. I love that high grade kit, but I like that mobile suit. We'll have those in about a week. So they should be here before the holidays. What else has been? I mean, right? I would think most of the new ones I haven't built. I usually build master grades, so I haven't built a lot of high grades.
Here. This one. I actually just recently bought a second one of these because I liked it so much. It's the Nerded C-Packs. It's not like when it was coming out, it wasn't a Gundam design that I really thought I was that into. Only once I built and painted the kit that I really liked it, and it's a really fun kit to paint as well too. That's why I wanted to get another one, because there's like almost no seam lines on it, so it's very easy to prep for painting. It takes almost no time to get it ready, and then painting it, the color separation on it is really nice. So it looks really good painted, and it's just a cool design if you can get into it. I know some people don't really like some of the aspects of the exposed like psycho frame, like being kind of like on the outside of the armor, kind of a bit strange, but I really like that kit. Not the cheapest HG. I think it's probably, I'd have to check to know. It's probably around $20, $22, maybe like that. If it's less than 20, then it's a very reasonable price.
We have them in stock. I know that was his main question. Yeah, $23.99.
Yeah.
They go for, I guess the suggested retail price is $27.99. So between, I'm sure you can find it between 23 and 28 probably.
And with the 10% off code, I mean, it's basically $20 there.
Yeah.
Totally worth it, I think. That's a good
Absolutely.
price. Yeah, but if he's saying if he sticks to HGs for affordability's sake, I mean, if $20 is a little bit on the higher end for HGs, usually they'd be less than that, right? For the most part.
Yeah, I know a lot of the Origin kits are pretty solid kits, and they're a little bit cheaper. We've got a decent amount of them still in stock.
They're like
range
16, 18.
Yeah, if you want really cheap high grades, IBO kits are extremely cheap, and they're not bad. Most of them have some type of little inner frame too, which is interesting. But those are pretty
much any of the Revive kits are all great, and those are all quite cheap as well too.
Yes, they are.
The Revive Gyan, Goof, Gundam, obviously Gun Cannon also is quite good. All those are all really nice. I think probably the most expensive of the bunch would maybe be the Cubile, which is maybe around 20. It's probably the most expensive one, but they're all really nice. All those. The Hyakushiki as well too. Very good one as well.
Yes, it is.
So plenty of great kits, and there's lots of. I've probably reviewed all of them, so just check some of my reviews to get my recommendations on that. T-Bird wants to know, do you know what happened to the second half of the Gene Stella Tears pre-order?
They are still on their way. I know that. So a lot of model kits that were coming out right when the world fell apart, kind of March, April-ish, factories shut down in the middle of that production. And so they got out what they had made. And then when they reopened back up or were able to get people back in there, a lot of companies decided to skip some of that production and then move on to what they were supposed to produce. So if they left in April and came back in May, they skipped some of the stuff they're supposed to make in May and then continued on with what their production was for the next month, or skipped April and then started making May. And then promised that they would backtrack and fill the rest of it. So that's just one of those items that was done on. So they did say that they are in the process of making them, so they should be here hopefully pretty shortly. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they're coming. What can you do? I guess, earlier I was saying that people usually don't complain too much about having to wait for kits. I guess it's only when they have actually paid for the kit and they're waiting for it.
Yeah,
understandably people can be, wanting to get their kits, right?
Definitely. Which I would too.
Yeah, sure. Nobody likes delays. Not all that you can do, unfortunately. Speaking of that, though, I did just want to pull this up as well too. And I don't know, this was just announced, I think, yesterday, so you probably don't have this for pre-order on the site yet. But for anyone interested in this, I just wanted to let you guys know about this kit. I assume it'll be on the site for pre-order shortly. But Kotobukiya just announced this new base lard frame arms girl kit, and it's a Megami Device collaboration. So in case any of you guys were looking at this and thinking like, oh, what's the difference? It's just slightly different colored from the original base lard kit. But the body is apparently entirely new for this. And you can see here the comparison with the old body. This is the new one, the shorter one. So the reason why it's a Megami Device collaboration, they're calling it, even though it kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense because they're both Kotobukiya properties. But the body is basically like a Megami Device construction body, which is the Megami Device kits are smaller and the construction is different a little bit from the Frame Arms Girl kits. So obviously a big height difference there is the first thing you notice. But so it's got a body construction now, which is basically like a Megami Device kit, but in the Frame Arms Girl line. So that's kind of the big difference. And obviously there's some color changes and everything, but this is the animation version base lard Frame Arms Girl. It's coming out.
Yep.
These not included, obviously, is from the different Megami Device kit, but just showing its compatibility with other Megami Device kits here as well too. But there you go. That's what it looks like. So just like kind of smaller body and better construction. Honestly, the Megami Device Girl kits, the body construction is nicer than the Frame Arms Girl kits usually. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, I just placed an order for that. I know they are going to be a limited item here in the States anyways. So I'm waiting to see how many I'm able to get before we put them for pre-order. But I did just get the email yesterday for that and we placed the order. So hopefully I can get all of them that I asked for. So we'll see.
Cool. Yeah, looks nice. And I wonder if they're going to do that with any more kits. Obviously the base lard is probably their most popular Frame Arms Girl kit, I would have to imagine. But I wonder if they'll make like one for like the stylet or the Go-Rai or something as well too, maybe.
Maybe.
Possibly.
And the stylet's pretty popular.
They've released a bunch of different versions of that, and the Go-Rai as well too. Yeah. What else? I don't know, like I guess doing one of like the Materia or the Innocentia, one of those ones was just the girl without any armor or weapons. Doing like a different body version of that would basically be just a entirely different kit. But anyway, there's just that little bit of information in case any of you guys saw that announcement or were wondering what's the difference with that. Now you know. All right. And we can move on to, let's go to Instagram here. On Instagram, our questions. Gumpla Kyo said, is Mecha Model Expo still good for August 14th, 15th? Everything fine? If so, will it be held at Daytona?
Yes.
He's talking about for next year?
Yeah, I think that's what what was the date he said? And that'll tell me.
August 14th, 15th?
I think that's for this year. Obviously, that's past. So no. Next year, yes. As far as I know, everything's still on track. Everything is still in the process of being fine for those future dates for next year for it.
Did you get those? Those are the dates for that?
I can look offhand. I don't remember. I can send out like a thing letting people know.
Yes. I mean, August at least around then. still is plenty of time for people to make plans for joining that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be making an announcement for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. I believe Johnny said, out of all the Gunpla or model kits that you have bought from USA Gundam Store, which are your favorite? I don't know who that question is for.
Yeah. So the kits that maybe I've gotten in personally here that are my favorite are Master Grade Snanju Stein. The narrative one I didn't like as much, the Stein. I more like the original one personally.
The Crab Pod?
Yeah. Oh man, the Crab Pod. Yep.
I started building my set of that.
Did you? Yeah.
I just haven't finished building it yet to do the review.
That was a long. So we got those. You're talking about the Wave one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Wave collaboration. Like what's the company? Keiko, I think, is the other company.
Yeah, I think so. We had those the second year we were open, and we haven't been able to get them since.
Yeah.
And they made it. We had the clear one too. Like they made a solid one, or maybe it was a set that came with the clear parts.
There's, I think, 2 different sets that they put out. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I like that kit personally a lot.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very cool.
If you have the chance to find that kit somewhere, I recommend picking it up. It's a fun kit.
Yes. I think I had 2 of that kit. And there's 2 in the box. So I mean, it would have been like a total of 4 actually, but I mean like 2 boxes of that kit. And I sold one. I think maybe it was to Brian, who's there in the chat. Brian, was that to you that I sold that kit to? I think someone anyway, or maybe someone else I'm thinking of. But anyway, because I know you had mentioned a couple times in past shows that's one of your favorites. It's been in my backlog forever. I thought I need to get around to trying that kit out. I need to build it.
Yeah, it's a fun design. I like the design of the actual, kit. I thought it was pretty cool.
Now that I'm mentioning it, and Brian's asking which one, now I'm thinking, no, it must not have been Brian. It must have been someone else. No, it's okay, Brian. I'm talking about the space crab pod. The other reason too that I wanted to build that was because for my Cooster project that I'm doing, like using like the arms of the Mechatro kit. Now my 120 scale Mechatro kit now doesn't have any arms, so I thought those crab pod arms would make cool replacement arms for the Mechatro probably. So I wanted to try it out, see how those look on there. So I need to build that kit first, try it out. We'll see. Anyway, so sorry if Johnny, if that doesn't quite answer your question. I guess another way to take that question would be, I mean, I'm sure this is not exactly what he means, but just in general, if we're talking generally, which have been some of the favorites or which have been some of the most popular kits sold from the store? Yeah, I know we talked about that before, but offhand.
Yeah. So there's 2 fun ways of looking at that. One is kits that have sold well since they've been around and have outsold. You get a brand new kit, obviously that does extremely well right out the gate. Like for example, Master Grade Barbados, that's been out almost a year now, and that's just done extremely well all year. But then you've got kits like the Real Grade RX-78, that people just every day buy, that does extremely well through every year. So I would say the kit that probably has done the best is probably that Master Grade Barbados in its first year being released. We've had tons of them in and tons of them ship out. So.
Never have any problems with those taking up much space on the shelves, then.
No, which I'm actually surprised we didn't see a Master Grade IBO kit announced. I thought for sure we might have seen, one of those because of how well the Barbados has done. But
that's a good point. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so much stuff announced. Wasn't left thinking like, oh, I wish we would have seen this. The only thing that I wish we would have seen is a new RE 100 kit. But the Calamity is there, which is kind of like that. So it kind of filled that role basically.
Yeah.
All right. Aro asked, will US Gundam Store be stocking the metal structure Sazabi?
That's a good question that I do not know the answer to. So I know with the metal structure new, what Bandai did was they allocated what each store got if you were able to get any. I'm sure if it's a regular release, they might do the same. I hope they do. Knowing how Bluefin sometimes works with some of these, they might decide just to kind of sell them themselves. So it just kind of it just depends on honestly what Bluefin decides to do, because I don't think I've seen anything on there that it was a premium item. But
yeah, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, so if it's a normal release, then it comes down to what Bluefin decides if they want to give some away for us to sell, or if they want to sell themselves. An easy answer is it'll be here for sale in the U.S. It just depends.
Yeah,
from Bluefin or from your normal retailers. So
it'll be a very limited release, no doubt about that. So I mean, no matter where you buy it from, they won't have a lot of them. So if you want it, you better act fast.
Yeah, like just for example, I know a lot of us. So all the stores that got good quantities of the the new. We personally sold out in like 5 minutes. And then we also had it's interesting because they told us that we could not sell to international customers. That kit, yeah. So I know that was one of the restrictions with that kit. But still, US wise, we sold out, and we had a decent quantity of them, and they were gone in like no time flat. And they were not cheap at all.
Well, the other half of his question here is: have you heard any updates or possibility of reissuing the metal structure new?
No, I have not. Yeah. I know that aren't they making like wasn't there a set coming out with like the flight crew or something like that, or like maintenance people? That's all I've heard.
Yeah, there's that. Do you know you'll be getting that?
No, probably not. We didn't get the funnels. Bandai Bluefin kept those, so I'm assuming they would keep all those too.
Yeah. Well, like you said, you've mentioned this before when we've been asked about this kit, and just a reminder to you guys, if you haven't heard us talk about this in the past, is that it's still possible that maybe someday you'll get some more there in stock just randomly if Bandai finds some more and sends some more out. But it's unlikely, it seems like, right?
Yeah, I would highly doubt that. I mean, it's possible. It's happened before where they'll send like one or two. Actually, they did send us 2 extra ones after now that I think about it. But
probably already spoken for at this point.
Yeah, we had a list of people waiting, and they went to the top 2 people on the list. But I mean, they could find more. I'd be more willing to bet though if we ever get more, it'd just be Bandai or Tamashi making another reprint of it.
Yeah, who knows? All right, Vamung. So with the holidays coming up, what are your predictions for which kits will be the most sought after, which will be the most popular Christmas kits?
Yeah, so the Master Grade Wing Verka, I think, will be a very sought after kit. Your Master Grade Barbados, I think, will be sought after. Your Perfect Grades usually do extremely well during Christmas time. Pretty much any kit that's done very well that people have wanted throughout this year will blow out during Christmas time. That's usually how that works. And then Bandai usually has a kit that is coming out during Christmas, like the Master Grade Wing Verka, that will do extremely well.
PG Unleashed.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that, and that's already gone. So that's here we're ordering now. Oh, so anyone watching for Perfect Grade Unleashed, the second shipment of them will actually now be coming in February, beginning to early February to April. So that is one thing that I did find out on our call with Bandai, that they did move that up. So anyone that did pre-order that said April will now be actually getting it in February, which is nice to get it earlier. So
very cool.
Yeah.
That's good news. That second batch is sold out already, yes or no?
No, not yet. They gave me way more than what I got the first round, which is cool. So
Nice.
if you haven't and you, I know there will be retailers that will get some in December that have not pre-ordered. I'm sure there's brick and mortars that will get them. So if you can't find them then you can still pre-order for February. But if you definitely want one for December, I'm sure there'll be some floating around out there. You just gotta be quick at nabbing them up.
Yeah, but not too bad. Yeah, if you haven't pre-ordered yet and want to pre-order, waiting until February is not that long, not that much different.
Right. Yeah. And you can wait for our fun Black Friday sale to pre-order it too.
Yes. Yeah, we you wanted to talk a little bit about that earlier. Do you want to do that now or towards the end?
We'll do it. We can do it towards the end. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, we'll do it towards the end.
So those of you guys watching live, don't touch that dial and watch till the end. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you're not going to reveal too much about that, but we will talk a little bit about what is in store for next week.
Yes.
But let's get through some of the rest of these questions here first. Any update on the Hdmesser?
Hdmesser, no. I know we have some, I think, that are back ordered and they're just filling that. So if it's, but they're out of stock right now on the site. As I don't know why they have decided not to do a reprint of that kit. Usually brand new kits, they reprint, at least every other month. And that one just had a one and done. It did very well. I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, especially now with the the next trailer of Hathaway's Flash coming out and stuff. You would think that there would be a reprint of those because that was in that trailer.
Yeah. Who was that? I was trying to think of this just the other day. Who is that Instagram artist who's done a lot of like SD illustrations? Like for different people, like Tim got one done of like a couple of
Links.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I remember his name. So I need to look up because I was thinking it'd be cool to get an SD illustration of the Messer build that I did. I thought like that design and like my custom version of that would be cool in like his style SD illustration. I wanted to try to get in touch with him about that.
He Links. I think it's Links 52. He actually did Apex for us. He's the original. Artist for that.
Yeah, I knew like if I went onto Instagram, it would take me. I could just check my messages too. It wouldn't take me any time to find it. Just the other day, I was thinking about that, and since you're talking about the Messer, it reminded me of that. I was thinking, and I wanted to get in touch with him about that, and I couldn't remember his Instagram handle at the moment. But okay, cool. I'll do that. Anyway, let's move on here. G Gundam asked any word on the HD Heavy Arms. As you said earlier, it's on the way.
Yep.
It'll be here early next week. Let's see. And Brian also asked, have you guys shipped out all the MGEX? That's also coming, you said, next week.
Correct.
The last of the first batch of that. So if Brian, to answer your question, if your pre-order was in that first, do you have pre-orders for a second batch of that?
Yes, those actually got moved up too because I think those were always set for February. So if they weren't, they are moved up to February. If they were always February, then February is the second batch. But yes, pre-orders are up for that.
Yeah. So if you're in the first batch, then likely it's coming next week. Second batch still February, whatever.
Yep.
Gumpla Vapor said, will you be selling the Display Samsung sponge sets?
Yes. They are actually, I just got a invoice for them this morning that I just got to pay and they'll ship them out.
There you go. And also he asked, what are your thoughts on the P Bandai Mark V? We already talked about that. He said, other than my reaction on stream. Yeah, we talked about that. We're both very much looking forward to it. Sucks that it's P Bandai.
Yes.
What can you do? It's not Bandai can't like change their mind. If no matter how much our backlash is, they're not gonna be like, oh, all right, well, we'll just release the regular kit then. Yeah. Once it's announced, there's not much you can do about it at that point.
Yeah.
Jojo asked a question you've been asked a few times before, but you can answer this one again. How did you start a business like USA Gundam Store?
A lot of hard work and long days. I mean,
start off in your garage, right?
Yeah, like every great company. You start where you can and try to make things the cheapest so you can survive through your start up process. And you learn things every day. You're going to make mistakes. Just know that you'll learn from those mistakes, and you're going to keep making mistakes every single day. I still make mistakes, and the best thing you do is learn from those and grow and pray and make sure you try to make the best decisions that you possibly can to help grow your company and do right by your customers. I think is the biggest. If I was to give anyone advice on starting a company, always try to do right by your customers, whether you're someone lost something in the mail and you're going to take a hit on it if you resend them another one. It's better to do that than to just say, well, no, it's not our fault. Sorry. You do everything you can to try to find that lost package, like put in a claim. But in the end, if the person paid for it and they don't have it and you have one sitting on the shelf, it's better just to ship them another one. And so always doing right by your customers, I think is extremely important.
Yeah. And eat your vegetables.
Yes. Yeah. Wheaties.
No, because as I'm sure you guys are all familiar with, if you spend any time online, it's always the people with something negative to say who have the loudest voice, right? Because you may see something online, someone's got some complaint about something, but when have you ever gotten something and been satisfied with the purchase and then gone online and ranted about it, right? People just don't do that. So like when you see complaints about stuff, I mean, it's very loud, but
and it happens. I mean, it happens. I think every single business in the world has had stuff out of their control. Like we can't control the mail. Even our competitors. I mean, they can't control the mail. So if something gets lost, I mean, ultimately, we have to make it better because the mail, they might, you can put in a claim, but I mean, post office sucks. They never do payouts. So you just kind of eat it and make it right for the customer to your best ability. But
what was I gonna say about that? Oh yeah, and I mean, you can talk about this a lot more as you know a lot more like the actual numbers behind it. But in case it wasn't obvious to anyone watching too, like a business of like selling this type of product, like there's a very small profit margin on each individual product. So like basically like if he's asking this question because he's interested in getting into this exact type of business, selling models and stuff like this, what you need to work at to build up is just building up your volume of sales, right? Because selling, the profit that you're going to make off every individual item is so small. You need to just try build it up gradually.
Yeah, you're not going to open up and then a year from now be a millionaire. I think I didn't move out of our garage for 3 years into it, maybe 2.5. I didn't take any pay out of the company for the first 2.5, 3 years. So it's, you got to work and you've got to, ultimately you have to love what you do. You've got to love this stuff. Otherwise it's just going to drain you and you're not going to care. Like I was saying, I didn't take a paycheck myself out of the company. I worked somewhere else, so I had a steady, income that I didn't have to, but I didn't take any money out of this. And like I said, 2 or 3 years after I'd started it. So, and I think a lot of startups are that way. You just reinvest everything that you make back into it and grow it and, create something that way, but you have to love it or you're not going to be passionate enough about it for it to be successful. To love it.
All that goes for YouTube as well too. In case any of you guys are wanting to start a YouTube channel, I'll just say that, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, you gotta be wanting to get up and do it even when you don't want to do it. And that's how much you have to like it.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So Setipian asked, as far as you know, is it possible that Bandai will be releasing an RG Unicorn as a regular release?
RG Unicorn as a regular, I might have missed something on that question. They do have a real grade Unicorn regular release. They actually have 2 of them. They've got the normal one with the the red inner psycho frame, and then they do have the full armor one with the green one. Is that? Did I miss something in the question?
I don't think so.
Okay. No, yeah, they do. They do have real grade, regular releases. So yes.
Strange. Yeah, I don't know. That's as best as we can answer that question, I think. But on another note, someone was asking me in a message or something today. I had a question. Someone asking about which I would recommend, the HG or the real grade full armor Gundam. And I realized that they have not made a RG full armor Gundam with the red psycho frame yet. And it's kind of surprising. So I'm wondering when they're going to ever get around to making that.
I don't know. I know there are third-party parts that you can you can buy the psycho frame parts for the real grade. You can buy them in red, blue, yellow, purple. I've seen those. But as far as Bandai making it, I don't know. There'll probably be a P Bandai sometime.
I guess the MG version was P Bandai. And so only the HG is the only one that's a standard release full armor unicorn with the red psycho frame. So
they did make that titanium. Was it titanium, or maybe it wasn't titanium? It might have been like special finish or something like that, where you could pick the inner frame color for the master grade. But they haven't made that one in a while. It might have been a special finish. I don't know if it was titanium.
I don't remember. I vaguely remember that coming out. But I don't remember to be sure. But yeah, likely if they ever made a RG full armor with the red or pink inner frame, it would be like a Gundam base exclusive thing or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
But all right, the Gunpla has any idea when the display chisel set might be restocked?
Just got an invoice for them, and they should be. I would assume they will be here at the end of the month, if not early December. Because they'll probably, pay for it today, assuming that's China. So that'll probably clear tomorrow, ship out by the end of the week, give or take time frame for delivery from shipping.
All right, Irish Stowaway asked, "What's your experience with the mechanism color? It's supposed to be more scratch resistant than most acrylics. Is it as strong as enamel or lacquer?" I've not ever used those paints before. Have you heard anything much about them?
Is that the Vallejo Mecha color? Is that what he's talking about? Or is
I'm not sure. Yeah, he just said mechanism color. I don't know if I'm familiar with those.
Yeah, I don't know of a mechanism color. He might be talking about the Vallejo Mecha colors, which are supposed to be stronger and have a better chemical bond to the model kit because of they formulate them because they know Gundams compose. So they are. I have not personally used them. They are acrylic based. I mostly use lacquer based paints myself for that reason, for them to be stronger. But I have seen a lot of people say they are stronger. They're supposed to be chemically stronger. I'm sure if you look up YouTube videos or just type in reviews of Mecha color, Vallejo paint, if that is the color, the brand that you're looking for, I'm sure you can find reviews on it. I have not personally used it though.
Yeah, same. So, oh, sorry. He did a reply to his own comment, and he said he meant Mecha color by Vallejo.
Okay, awesome.
Should have scrolled down a little bit more. There you go.
Yep.
So yeah, I've not used those. I'm pretty sure that Lincoln has used them in one of his projects, I think. So maybe in one of his videos. He had to go through some of his videos, but I think I don't remember exactly, but
I know Vallejo makes solid paints, so I'm sure they're pretty good. But you can definitely, I'm sure, look at different reviews and stuff for them.
Yeah. All right. Then, lastly, we'll hop over to Facebook. We got a couple of questions here, and then we'll take some questions from you guys watching live. So hang tight for just a moment. We'll take these off Facebook first. Shane asked, "Is the latest shipment of GN Arms and Gundam Exia the HG set coming this month or December.
GN Arms and did you say Master Grade Exia?
No, it's the HG, the Exia with the GN Arms.
So they should be in the container that we're getting at the end of this month. I remember seeing them on there.
There you go. Arriving around the end of the month, so that means like if you've already got it pre-ordered or back ordered or whatever, then that'd be shipping out beginning of December-ish, around there.
Definitely.
And he also said that the Megami device Ayaka Ichijo, I want to say Ichigo, makes more sense, but Ichijo, to be in a similar situation since they were both July released. So yeah, I'd imagine that's same thing with the Gene kits. It's just delayed. Good book, yeah.
Yeah, like I think most retailers have gotten part of theirs. If you were a smaller retail, you probably got, if you only ordered like 2 or 3, you probably got it. But if you're bigger and you ordered, 200 or 300, then you were only able to get a few, because a lot of the companies kind of split it up to make sure everyone got some.
David Neal is wanting to know about the HG Abyss Gundam. Any word when it might get a rerun?
They were on a order that I could get for the end of February, early March reprint order. We just got so we were talking about this earlier, and it kind of dives, I guess, into that a little bit. So I know, Bandai's been extremely backlogged, and they have more orders for stuff than they can fulfill or have been able to fulfill this year. So what they've done is they've kind of pushed off doing reprints, and then have gone and are filling all the back orders that they have during November, December. And so we haven't really had a lot of newer, reprint or restock kits that we could order from, because we're still kind of getting all the stuff that we'd ordered from before. We just got a huge reprint sheet that we could order from, and the Abyss was on there. There was a ton of different kits. I think there was 800 different items on that sheet that we could order. So come February, we'll have a ton of stuff getting reprinted, which is cool.
There you go. Let's see. Then Juan wants to know about the HG Heavy Arms. We answered that already. Should be on its way. Ricardo also asking about the Wing Verka. Also answered that. That'll be out. Should be late next week. Yeah, see that.
Yep. That's what I've been told.
Let's see. Jake said, Adam, which of the recently announced kits from the expo do you think will sell the most once they're released?
Which will sell the most?
Predictions there?
Probably the real grade. I don't know though. The real grade Hainu will do extremely well. That one I think will sell a ton of. That'll be up there with the real grade Sosby, real grade New. The Virtue will do extremely well. I think the Virtue's price point is going to be pretty significant. So I don't think that will sell it. I mean, it will sell well. It's just going to be a higher price point, and that will deter, I'm sure, some people.
Yeah, naturally.
That IBO kit will do really good. That high grade one, those always do extremely well. But probably the 2 real grades, the real grade New will probably be the best, I would assume, out of all those. I mean, the other master grades will do pretty good, but that's just that's what I think.
Yeah, I think the Jin will probably do pretty well as well too. It's maybe being a grunt, it's maybe not going to have as much hype behind it as like the Virtue, of course, something like that, just like one of the main Gundams of the series. But
that'll do good, because the Zaku, not the Zaku, the Gunner Zaku did good. So the Jin definitely will do good. I think all of them will do. I mean, a lot of the regular release announcements were solid. The Mark V, if it was a regular release, I think would have done extremely well.
The Cassie, I'm sure, will do well as well too. Basically, take however well the Penelope did, and better than that. I'm sure it's cheaper and not as cumbersome, right, of a design probably a little bit more closer to a normal Gundam design a little bit. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more people interested in that.
Yeah.
Comparatively. I mean, and the Nightingale as well too. The same kind of thing. I'm sure there's a lot of people like interested in that, but the price point will obviously, of course, deter a good amount of people. But I'm sure it'll still do pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how much that one will be.
I'd imagine around 6,000-7,000 yen, probably around there.
Probably.
Probably similar to whatever the Penelope was, and if I remember correctly, the Penelope was, I think, 74.
Yeah,
like that.
I think so.
Probably something similar to that. It's similarly sized, not quite as maybe complex because it doesn't have like a Gundam within flight armor kind of thing. But I mean, it's still very big. A lot of parts on there. And we didn't talk about this before when we were looking at the kits, but just looking at it, it looks like it's got better color separation than the RE, which is cool. So that's nice. Slightly, not a big difference, but slightly better anyway. I wonder if it's going to have the Nightingale it is supposed to have sub arms under the front skirts as well too, I believe, like the O. And I wonder on the RE they're like molded in, but they don't actually work, if I remember correctly. And I wonder if on the HG they'll actually have usable sub arms on it on there.
Be interesting.
Yes, hopefully. I would think that they would work that into a proper HGUC, probably. Unless they wanted to try to keep the price down as much as they could from keeping it to be too expensive. But I would think they probably would have that in there. Anyway, and then the other part of Jake's question was about, do you guys think that the MG Virtue will include the beam rifle and the shield for the Nadley? Is something I talked about earlier.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, but we'll have to see. And then the last question here from Facebook is Clay asking, will there ever be a meet the team post or video? I want to meet the people who put my orders together.
Yes, we've actually I filmed some. I got to finish the rest of them and get those over to you. But yeah, that's actually something that me and Zach have talked about that we are getting put together.
It was quite funny seeing when I saw that comment earlier. And it was quite funny because, it's something Adam and I have already been talking about making. So we're already in the kind of process of getting that put together for you guys. So there will be a video in the relatively near future for you guys. That'll be here on this channel too, by the way. So once I have all that stuff recorded and edited, post that up for a cool kind of meet the team video for you guys here on the channel. So look forward to that in the near future. Now let's take some questions from you guys live. I'll go backwards in the chat a little bit. So there's been kind of questions all along the way, but Jay said, are you also selling resin conversion kits?
That's actually something that I would love to find and get. I know those are a little bit harder to get in touch with the people that make those to get them for like a wholesale price type thing.
I think we were talking about this in the last episode or something like that. I mentioned to you how I hadn't really done any sort of like news video related to resin kits recently because I was feeling like there wasn't really a whole lot coming out. But like strangely enough, or maybe it's just because I'm more aware of it now, it seems like in the past couple of weeks I've seen just loads of new resin stuff just being announced all the time. So there is actually a lot of stuff coming out that would be pretty cool to look into. So we'll have to see how much of that we can get for you guys. I mean, like Adam said, it would be cool to stock as much of that stuff as we can.
Definitely.
So we'll work on that, getting some more of that stuff for you guys. I saw that Model Bingo is making a SD full kit of the Rehighs. Oh yeah. That do you know the Gundam I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I shared the post on my Facebook page.
Nice.
But if any of you guys are unfamiliar, that's that big red monstrosity mobile suit from the AOZ reboot. But that looks really cool in SD, so that'll be fun. Let's see. All right, then let's see. Gabriel asked, will you have the RG Banshee Norn available soon?
Yep, we should have them, I believe, the end of this month. They're in the container that we get in.
Very good. I still get comments on my review of that all the time because I did, like, while I was going through the articulation segment of the review, I put in a bunch of Owen Wilson sound effects of Owen Wilson saying, wow. Like, articulation, like moving apart, the arm can go like this. Wow. And people hate it. I still get people commenting about it. Like, great video, but the wow sound effects were so annoying. And like, I think awesome. That's probably one of my most disliked videos on my channel. Sorry, guys. It was just for fun. People didn't like it. All right. Anyway. Let's see here. Will asked, can we expect or hope to get more statue figures of pilots or characters from any Gundam series? I keep forgetting that Bandai just recently had the new announcement of the new Asuka Figuarts Labo kit coming out. Not Gundam related, but
pilot related.
Yeah. As long as go ahead.
I know that what is it? Mega House makes Gundam pilot figures, and they've been announcing at least one every quarter.
Those sell pretty well.
Yeah, those
I know they're expensive. They're around.
They are. Yeah, they're up there, but they do pretty decent for sure.
I mean, considering like how expensive a lot of those like PVC anime figure characters are, actually the Mega House ones are on the low end. Kind of usually they're between $100 and $200. So to be around 100 is very expensive, but on the lower end of that. So I guess comparatively not that bad. They look really nice anyway. If I had a bunch of money, I might consider that, but even still, I don't know. There's some nice ones in the line though. Really wanted to get that Aina one, Aina Sahaline from Hdmesser team. That one looked great. Anyway, Patrick wants to know about the Lubu Shinanju and red hair from the Sangoku Soketsuden line.
I think that's the one. I mean, yes, we are getting them in.
Are you getting those kits pretty regularly?
Yeah, it depends on which ones. Like the one he's talking about, they haven't made in a while, but we should actually. I think they're coming in this November container. I'll just have to look and make sure, so you can send us an email and I can get you an exact answer when that will be in. But yeah, for the most part, those have been pretty steady flowing.
Nice, because I think like they were like Gundam based exclusives, or that maybe that's just only in Japan that they're Gundam based exclusives, like when they first came out. But I see them like all the time.
Yeah,
everywhere.
They made a bunch of them.
Yeah. There's loads. I was noticing that, like, I was thinking that looking through all the announcements the other day, last week, and there was like 5 or 6 new ones that they showed off, and like I usually just kind of write them off. But then I was thinking like, that's a significant amount of development to develop those kits. I mean, like, because I don't really care too much about them, and I know like probably a lot of people, SD is not the most popular thing out there, but there is a lot of people that like those. But that's still a lot of development to develop those kits. That's going into putting out so many of them. So they're
pumping those out. They're at least doing pretty much 3 every release, every new announcement of kits. They had at least 3 of them, at least all of last year.
And it's so interesting to see so many in one single line as well too. Because like I just feel like, and I don't really know a whole lot about SD kits in general, so I could be wrong. But in past like different Sangoku lines, they haven't been so extensive. But this line, it feels like there's so many kits in this one particular line of SD Sangoku kits.
Yeah. No, they've made a bunch. They had ones. I know every now and then we'll get questions. They made some in like 2018. They had like there was one release. They had like 8 different ones. They had The one, it was the Quibbly with the fans.
Yep.
And that's the one we get asked if they'll make that again a lot. And then they made that same, I guess they're off of People. So that same person they made again, but they made her as the Strike Rouge, I think is what she is in this new line that they started doing in 2019 this year. So I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Well, there's a load of different ones of them, basically. Yeah. All right. Mike wants to know, does the Cassie come with the effect parts on its own? No. Well,
I don't think so.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like it's going to.
No.
That said, I mean, it looks really cool, but the effect parts don't really look that specific. You know what I mean? Like, you could kind of recreate the look just using some 30 minutes missions effect parts, probably pretty close to that. It wouldn't be too different. Like, here, like this set. Here you go. This one. I mean, pretty close. It would take a little bit of work, and you'd need a few of these sets, and then some like the other. They just released or came out with that slash effect, so they're coming out with too. Yeah. So like combining some of the different like available 30 minutes missions, like effect parts, you could make it pretty close to that on your own, if you're not wanting to spend $200 to get those effect parts, basically. Let's see. All right, Forged Horizon has a bit complicated question, he said, regarding Macross. But if you can answer, that'd be neat. I'm just interested if anyone or who, Bluefin or Harmony Gold, actively blocks sales of merchandise here. Yeah, it's Harmony Gold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not Bluefin. I'm sure Bluefin would love to carry those Macross Bandai kits.
Yes, they would.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here we go. Moo said, do you know if you'll be replacing the MG 1. Dom with 1.05, or will both be sold at the same time? I would imagine they would still make the old one as well too, but what do you think?
So I know the old Rick Dom and Dom are getting a reprint. It's actually one of the few 2 kits that are getting reprinted in January. So you will, in theory, if they decide to make them, we did order them, that you will be able to order those then, and then the new one will come out in April or May or whenever it decides, whenever they decide to release it.
I think he just means like going into the future, if they'll still be producing the old one as well too, or if they'll just discontinue it and not make anymore. But I would assume they would still make it.
Yeah, so here's the fun thing about that. So they will put it out there for stores to order it. If they get enough orders for it, then they will make it. But not every country brings in. Bluefin's getting better at this, but they would used to never bring in older kits. If there was a newer version of it, they would not bring in the older version. Whereas, the Canadian distributor, Plow Mode, they would bring in everything that they could. So you could get a lot of older kits that got reprinted from that Canadian distributor, whereas the U.S. distributor, Bandai or Bluefin, would not. They would just deem it as no one would want that because there's a newer one. But there obviously is a huge market for older kits. Sure. And they've gotten better at that and gotten better at listening to, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's telling them that. I'm sure other stores are telling that too. So they're changing how, what they decide to order and different things like that. But it all comes down to stores have to put an order for it first. And then Bandai saying, okay, we are going to reproduce it. And then, Bluefin or whoever deciding, we'll carry it.
Yeah. I would assume so. Like, the Master Grade Unicorn, they still make the original Master Grade Verkai Unicorn.
Yep.
There's been multiple versions of that have come out since then. So yeah, I'm sure they'll still make that because it's cheaper. Some people will just want to get the older one just because it's cheaper. They don't really care about having the newer technology in that. They'll just want to get the older one for whatever reason. They still make all the old kits from the 80s. We've got newer, much better versions of almost all those, and they still make them. So yeah. as far as I know, I don't know of any kits that they've like permanently discontinued, unless they've been like some of the more recent, like the special like DX sets, like we were talking about.
Yeah,
like the RG kits, things like that. Michael wants to know if you'll be selling the Mark V.
Your best bet is to probably get it from the USB Bandai store when they have them, because I'm sure they will.
You know, I was wondering about that as well too. Is if that was actually going to be a Verka or not too. I guess I would assume not, because probably it would have said on the label.
Yeah,
MG Verka. But it looks like another one of those where it's like it's an MG Verka in everything but title.
Yeah,
basically. Because like even how they had it on display, like the background image and like the behind it there at the expo looked like a very Verka background image, like they would put behind it like that. So I was looking at thinking like, how is this not going to be a Verka?
Yeah.
But I wonder if maybe they have an agreement that well, no, they wouldn't. I was going to say if they have an agreement like with Kotoki that he won't let them release anything as an exclusive kit, but they've done different versions of like the Crossbone, for example. I know that have been actually MG Verkas that have been only P Bandai. So I don't know. Maybe. Wish that it was actually a Verka. Not that it would make that much of a difference, but at least it would guarantee that it's coming with water slides.
Yeah.
All right. Chris Walsh asks, any chance of White Dingo set coming in? That's a kind of older P Bandai.
Yeah.
I think so.
They might reprint it. I don't know. It's not that they have reprinted P Bandais before, but I don't know if they would do that one. Doesn't seem like it was that, it's a super popular one.
Not a question, but I would just want to give a special shout out to Brian for saying that he liked my wows in the RG Banshee Norin video. Thank you, Brian. I did too. And everyone else who did like that and got the joke. Thank you guys. Let's see. Any thoughts on maybe carrying some 5-star stories model kits? We talked about this in a past episode, didn't we?
Yep, they are. I just need to order them.
Mm-hmm.
I've got people here bugging me, actual like team members that tell me I should get them, and every day.
It'd be the wave ones, right? Because you're not able to order the stuff from Volks.
We actually, those would be the easier ones to get, are actually the ones from Volks.
Really?
The hard ones to get are the ones from Wave. Yeah.
Have you carried different Volks kits in the past?
No, but they are the distributor for Gaia Notes here in the States. They have a contract with Gaia Notes, so we do order from Volks. Anyone that carries Gaia Notes in the States gets it from Volks. So,
yep. So, well, I'd recommend trying to get some of those. What's their Vlockers? Their Mecha Musume line of kits from Volks as well too. For people who are fans of those type of kits, they're pretty interesting. And I feel like a lot of people, I've only just reviewed the one of them earlier this summer, because I think a lot of people are not really very familiar with those, because Volks kits aren't sold many places other than Volks. So, unless you've been like to Akihabara and been like to Hobby Paradise, you probably don't really know. A lot of people out there, I would assume, the general audience, maybe not very familiar with Volks in general. So, just to if more people knew that they were there and available, I think a lot more people would be interested in them. Let's see. When is the Master Grade Full Armor Gundam Verka Thunderbolt back for sale, back in stock?
We just got a ton of. Did we already sell out of them all? Let me look. We just got like 400 of them in, and they are all gone. So I know that we have some more coming mid-December, but I would not order it for. They're not up for back order, but they don't. If you want it before Christmas, it will not be here. I can say that pretty well. But they did just do a reprint, so you can look around and probably find them pretty easily. I'm sure we're not the only ones that just got them. We just flew through ours.
All right, let's see. Kind of asking on behalf of Discord. Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to vet the question here to make sure I understand the question before I put up the screen and ask you. Okay, here it is. Are any of the 1/100 scale IBO kits like the Grays ever going to get a reprint?
Yes, they were on that gigantic order that I talked about earlier. They are on that for end of February, early March.
All the 100 scale IBO kits, or just some of them?
All of them were on there. Now, whether Bandai decides to make all of them or not is another question. They are ordered, and going back to what we talked before, we can order them. Bandai collects all that data from all the places all over the world, not just the United States or not just Japan. They get all that information from all over the world, see if there's a big enough demand for that kit. If there is, then they make it. If there's not, then they say, hey, we're not going to make this kit. And then, they don't make it, and that order doesn't matter for that kit. So,
James wants to know about the metal structure Sazabi. We talked about this a little bit, that we don't know if or when that's going to be available to pre-order through you guys. But just to answer his question, I guess, in a different way, if you do find out that you are going to be able to get some, will you be able to put up like an announcement ahead of time that say like, here is the exact time when pre-orders are going to open, just to let people know to be ready to pre-order as soon as possible? Is that something that might happen?
I personally don't like doing it that way, because your site, when sites do that for high demand stuff, for example, we had a competitor that has been around and has a very nice website that has had their website around forever. Well, they decided to do that with the Unleashed kit, and then it crashed. And then people that tried to order it weren't able to get it. People that actually paid for it had to get refunded. They just had tons of problems because their site could not keep up with the traffic. So that's why I don't like doing that. It just causes so many more problems than just sending out an email saying, hey, it's in now. So I would just look at your emails. I guess ultimately it's probably you get less traffic, I guess, sending out an email than saying, hey, everyone get on at this time. This limit, and all of a sudden you've got thousands of people jumping on at one time, and you can't keep up.
Then everyone's just kind of got like a sour experience of the situation, right? And it just makes it easier for scalpers, honestly, too. Of course, because they'll be the ones really on it.
We would do the same thing that we did. So you could only order one of the news. So if we do get some, you would only be allowed to order one of the metal structure Sosby's too. If you did place an order, if you tried to order more and you got through, it would just be refunded.
Let's see. There's a bunch of different orders, questions here about different specific items. But let's see. Here's one. The MG GP03 getting reprint. You just recently got some more of those in, didn't you?
Yeah.
They already sold out again?
So it's maybe. Let me see here. I don't think so. They are out. But I think we're getting more in here. We get more in the container that's coming for the end of November. So, we'll have more in shortly.
There you go. All right. Forged had another question specifically for me. He wants to know if I've actually built any of my mechanic core kits. No, I have not, actually. And the same goes for you. Adam, you've not ever built any, right?
The mechanic core kits? No.
But I've got my Cassie, or my Zer store, right here, right down here. So it's there. And I'm thinking about starting that after painting the wing Verka. We'll see. Things always kind of end up changing. It's hard to kind of stick to any scheduled plan because I'm kind of very ADHD in terms of working on my painting projects, but we'll see. It's something that, I definitely want to work on that. I know there's a lot of interest for people wanting to see about that too.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Christian wants to know about when you are starting to ship international.
So that's a good question that I don't fully know the answer to. It's going to depend on a lot of different things. Unfortunately, places are shutting down again all over the world. I've seen Europe just had something come out where they're not taking international shipments incoming in, and they're sending. I thought I saw something the other day that they're shipping back all packages that are outside the EU, not Britain. I guess the EU is shipping back anything that's not a part of the union. But that was just something I read on Facebook. So again, take that with a grain of salt. As soon as the world kind of gets back to normal, because it depends on your country, and there's so many different countries that we ship to. It's impossible for us to know everything. We are shipping to Canada still, because those are. I think they're now taking everything. So if they're not, let us know. If you order something, please make sure that your province is accepting packages internationally. But as far as other countries, no time soon. I know that was a very long answer to that question, but
hard to know.
It's which I don't understand. And maybe I'm no doctor, but I don't understand why countries are not bringing in packages. I don't get that.
Yeah.
Since nothing's shown that it can try. I don't know, but again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know why that would be an issue for countries.
All right. Well, we'll wrap up here pretty soon. I'll just try to answer a couple of these last ones here pretty quickly. Jay wants to know about updates regarding a MG Tallgeese 3. That was a P Bandai kit that's been reproduced a number of times. If I had to guess, that's probably one of the P Bandai kits that's been reprinted the most.
Yeah,
probably. But no, I don't know. I'm sure you maybe have carried a handful of them in the past.
Yeah, we carried them a long time ago, but I mean, the USP Bandai stores have them now, at least twice since they've opened. So, watch the.
Just keep an eye out. Yeah, I'm sure they'll do another reprint of that at some point. So just watch for the USP Bandai store. Any update on the PG Exia LED?
This actually was on that gigantic list of maybe making a reprint of it. So. Before that was supposed to be a one and done, and then you had to buy the LED set separate. Is he talking about the actual set that has both, or is he talking about just the LED?
I don't know. The LED set on its own also on the reprint list?
It is. So both of them were. There all three of them. Perfect Grade without the LED set, and the one with both were. If they do decide to make that, and that's something you want to get and collect, I would get it, because I did not think they were ever going to make that kit again if they do decide to make it again. But it was on that list.
Robert had a question about nippers. Basically, he wants to know what nippers do you have that cut completely flat? Like the USA nippers.
I don't know what he means by they don't work on undergated kits.
I don't really get that either. But
if the USA Gundam ones, and I am a biased, obviously I can't be. They cut just as good as God hands to me. They do extremely good cut. Just because a kit's undergated, I don't think would have any effect.
Any difference.
Right. So maybe if your nippers you feel like are defective, please feel free to reach out to us and we can get you a new pair. But just a kit being undergated should have no effect on the actual cut that the nippers do.
Yeah, it'd be the same thing. You're just meant I guess. I mean, For anyone maybe unaware or haven't figured it out, undergates you're supposed to cut twice on them. You're supposed to cut it like normally, and then you have to cut it again from the other way. That's why I personally don't like it. People get really excited about like, oh, it's actually totally undergated. I'm like, oh, damn, it's undergated. I don't like it. It's more work. Yeah, it's always more work to on undergated kits. I mean, like, yeah, if it's a plated kit, great, but other than that, no thanks. So, what was it? The L game kit that I just reviewed the other day. I didn't mention this in the review because it didn't really matter. It's not a plated kit, but for some reason, like a lot of the nubs on the armor on that kit were all undergated. I don't really know why, but that was kind of weird. So it's kind of strange when they decide to do that or not. But all right. I know there's probably a handful of questions that we missed, so sorry if we missed your guys' questions, guys, but I think we'll wrap up. Oh, yes, and James' question is fitting for what we need to talk about here at the very end. Any sale events during the holiday season? Yes, we need to talk about that before we wrap up.
Oh, definitely. So we will have a discount code. Keep an eye next week. We'll send out an email and post banners on our website. There'll be extra discounts on kits. So one of those banners, we'll have a link to all the extra sale items that you can even apply that discount code to get even more off. If you order over a certain amount of money, you'll be open to getting free items. I think we've got some nippers, Mecha decals. There's a different Apex pin. We had one last year. There's a different version this year. Let's share my screen. Am I still sharing?
Yep.
All right. How do I? Sure. So we do have a special sticker. Can you see that?
Yep. Here we go.
Yeah. So that's going to be a sticker. That's the inside of Apex, and Apex is piloted by. Those are actually my cats.
I was just going to ask that.
Yeah. Terry did a cool job. He asked me for pictures of my cats, and I had asked for a sticker of Apex so you can see like the inside of them. Nice. And so he did that. So this will be a special sticker that will be in that pack too for free items, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so stay tuned. There definitely is going to be, the sale starts Thanksgiving Day, and it'll go, I believe it's going to go all the way to the next Wednesday, if I remember correctly. So that'll start the 26th, then go all the way through to the 2nd of December. So
will there be anything like where it'll be like anything different on particular days, like be like big sale on the first day that's only on the first day, and like other sales on different days, or it's just like the same sale all throughout the time?
So it'll be the same sale all through, except for Cyber Monday. We'll have some extra discounted items. So
there you go. All right. And then anything like at Christmas, will you have any Christmas sale as well too later on, or it's just kind of like Black Friday is the main thing?
Yeah, so we have a sale actually Christmas Day, then that goes through all the way into past, I think New Year's Day is the last day of it. So, you can stay tuned for that too. But during December, there's not really. There might be like some weekends where they're 10% off weekends or something like that, but nothing big like Thanksgiving.
I've got something fun and exciting planned for later in December. A little Christmas event. I'll let you guys know about that more a little bit later once that's a little bit more planned out. Just kind of started planning that, but just a little heads up. Something exciting to look forward to there. But all right then. So yeah, just watch for the updates for the sale next week, just before, and yeah, check out some cool stuff on there. So all right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Adam, any parting words for everyone watching today?
Yeah, just thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for all the orders. Without you guys, we would not be here to provide the kits. So thank you very much for everything, and be safe.
Sure. And just a heads up, if you guys want to, if we didn't get to your questions today, again, sorry about that. Just make sure you're following on Facebook, obviously here on this YouTube channel, Instagram page as well too. Usually try to get the post out a day ahead of time before the show goes live. So if your questions get posted on there, obviously, as you saw today, we went through those first. So just make sure you're following on there so you can post your question ahead of the show, and make sure we get to it on the next one. So that'll be in 2 weeks' time, next episode. So we'll see you guys then. And have a great Thanksgiving in between. Those of you guys watching in the US, I really miss Thanksgiving. It's probably the holiday that I miss the most, living outside of America. All that good food. Very sad. Anyway, all right. Till next time, guys. See y'all later.
See ya.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.